G56 swap, part 8. Let's get into it. So I've put the transmission in, did swap at 127,000 kilometers. I'm now at 148. Hasn't missed a beat. It's been dead on. Super happy with everything. Swap, the clutch, setup, everything. It's worked flawlessly. Haven't had any issues with changing the RF hub or putting in the backup lights and all that stuff. All that works just as it should. Pretty much OEM. The one thing that always was kind of an issue for me was in the interior. And I didn't really go through any of the interior stuff prior. It was more or less just getting the electrical and the engine swap done. So one thing that bothered me was I couldn't find a jump seat. At least that costs a decent amount of money. That was for a Laramie trim, because I want to keep the heated seats in the back because that was a factory option. I wanted everything designated as per factory, besides missing the remote start. That is one thing I do miss for sure, but I am okay without it. What I did was I like the business console. I like the storage with the business console. I don't have the need for a small child to sit up front with us when driving. I wanted to stick with the business console, but I didn't want to just have like the shifter in the middle of it that you see some people do. To me, that was very car-like. It's a truck, and I kind of liked with it the idea of not having it. I'm going to show you what I ended up doing in the truck, and it's not 100% complete. I'm not 100% happy with it, but we're getting closer and closer. I'll show you that and go from there. I have the business console here, and I've modified it to work. I have the regular trim pieces from what you'd have with a jump seat. I have the lower plastic pieces here. The radio surround there, not overly pleased because it is the automatic one, and I did cut it to fit. Most people are like, why would you cut that up? I had no use for it otherwise. So same with the business console. I cut it up too, which was kind of like a I really hope this works moment, because this stuff's not cheap, and I'd be maybe further ahead selling it. Part of it too is the 18s came with this this black instead of the wood grain, and I wanted to keep the black with this trim package. But I am actively looking. If somebody has one, let me know, because I would like to change that. And one other thing, what I did was I put my switch on the fly for my tunes on the inside, kind of discreet. I thought, you know, instead of having it someplace where it is in the way, or, you know, just try to hide some of that stuff. Now onto the business console. These pieces here were actually down in there with the business console, and what I did was I just kind of cut them up, laid them on the inside, plastic welded it, tried to trim everything up as much as possible to have some sort of flow. And plastics and interior stuff isn't what I've spent a lot of time on. This is actually, the carpet is actually a floor mat, factory carpet floor mat that I received with the truck. But I use these Husky liners, Canada Snow, I like that. But I still have all my regular storage, which is nice. Figure out what I want to do here, because if you look, the exposed screws just kind of look very homemade, not real nice, and I wouldn't mind putting something in to line this in here. But this is the setup that I have. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. I'm getting more and more happy. I think changing that radio surround and getting this a little bit more tied in together would work really well. But overall, I'm fairly happy with it for what I need, which is I like the storage. It works well. So that's where we're at so far. I don't want to leave anybody in the dark on what do we do with this. This isn't maybe the perfect scenario. If you have a more base level truck, obviously probably the jump seat's probably the better way to go. Or if you're okay with having the shifter come up through the console with some modifications to the actual shifter, you can do that. I don't know for sure if you can just leave it stock, just put the business console in and that works. If anybody knows, feel free to write something down in the comments section. I hope during the period of doing the swap it was useful to some people. I did have a lot of hours researching what to do, where to find parts, best deals, just stuff I wasn't overly used to on the G56 platform, if that's what you want to call it. A lot of good resources out there. Facebook pages, strictly G56, G56 swap how to, that kind of stuff is huge resources, guys. Lots of knowledgeable people across North America on this stuff. If you're on the fence, just do it. Just buy the parts and do it. You won't regret it. So thanks again, guys, and all the best.